let's finish up by taking a look at how we can bring in other models into our scenes. So there may be cases where you build everything in one scene, but in most cases you're going to be building things and then bringing them together into your scene. So we built this ship together, and now we want to bring some other geometry in to make a scene. And so what we want to do is import geometry. So we can go to File and Import, and then we'll navigate to wherever we want to import our scene from. Now, there are different types of files that we can import. Right now we're importing the same kind of file that we've been working with, a Maya ASCII file, but we can also import things like OBJ files, which is just geometry, Maya binary files. There are different kinds of files that we can import into our scenes. So for us, let's go ahead and leave this on Maya ASCII, and let's grab this platform from our project files. We'll go ahead and import this in. So we'll say import. We'll leave everything else at default. Now you can see a little bit of geometry peeking down here. Let's look in our outliner, and you can see now that we've got the ship that I've gone ahead and just kind of parented and named. The naming doesn't have to be exact. In fact, over the course of the entire introduction of Maya, it may be a little bit slightly different depending on what section you're in, but it should be kind of organized however, whatever makes sense to you. Okay, so I've got the fuselage and the wing. Okay, anyway, we've got our ship here, and then under that you'll see there's a group also for this platform, and this namespace helps. You can see the platform colon platform 2, and so this actually helps avoid any conflicts with the naming. If you're bringing something in that's named the same, we have the namespaces to separate that out. So let's move back and see what this actually looks like. So here is our fueling platform. So let's say that you've been working on this in another file, or even someone else has been working on it, and you want to start to bring these things together. Well, you can start to import them. So now I have the platform and all of its associated geometry and the hierarchy in my same scene. Now if I want to save it in here, I'll need to obviously save this as a new scene. We can import something else, so we'll go File and let's import again, and this time we'll grab the fuel line. So now you can see again it's used that file name as our namespace, so we have the fuel line now. Okay, and that's just a line coming off of our fueling platform. So now to start to set up our scene, we could take our ship and grab the top group of it and just bring this up into position and kind of move it so that it matches up with our fuel line. So we can sort of get some refueling going on here. Kind of move this back and up, and we'll just kind of move this into position here. Okay, and if you want to kind of make a different scene and put it in a different spot and build your own curve, you can certainly do that. But you can see how we can start to assemble the geometry we've created into a particular scene, and we'll be using some of these assets as we go on later in the process. Okay, so I've had a lot of fun going with you over the last 3 hours building our ship or our jet here, and hopefully you've picked up a few tools and techniques that you're going to find useful in building different kinds of models that you may be interested in building, and you'll have the craft that you've built here as well. Okay, so we talked about working with NURBS, we talked about working with polygons, and we looked at a variety of different methods for building up the different kinds of geometry that we have. So if you want to learn more again about modeling specifically, I'd encourage you to check out the Introduction to Modeling in Maya. That will take you through more in-depth information on the kinds of geometry that you can use, the different components that make that up, and kind of more in-depth into some of the tools that you can use to actually build up your models. Okay, so this brings us to the end of our modeling portion. But right now, looking at this, it's really, really gray. And so the next section that we want to go through is actually adding surface qualities to this. So there's different kinds of materials that are making this, jet up. We've got the glass and the metal and things like that. So we want to add different surface qualities and also things like different colors, different textures to our model to really make it come alive. So that'll be the next step in our process.